So we haven't officially started recording yet. I'm assuming.
No, we have.
Well, yeah, I know you're recording, but like this, we haven't started the show. Or
you should be careful, Vera. He's gonna start the show with this. Rough draft research.
We out here
making moves, cutting film, watching people
making moves. Who are we? The Jacksonville Jaguars, man.
I'm out here with the stopwatch, trying to get 40 times. No, we're just living life, man. Free agency's getting nuts, and so are we. Rookies are getting heated, man.
Yeah, dude, the crushes are real. I'm already setting aside some disposable income for rookie cards. I can already feel it.
Ooh,
Christian, you
I
sent
got my first packs the other day.
Yeah, dude.
I got the itch. I bought a Cameron Bynum rookie card yesterday because of that. So
I don't want to tell you what you did to me. Yeah,
gotcha. Sorry. No, I was in Target and just saw the like new 2022 rookies, and I was like, oh, these cards are gonna be crap, but it'll still be fun to like check them out and see who they put in there. I got a shit ton of Malik Willis.
Nice.
5 or 6.
I like that Chris Olave, man. Mr. Smooth.
Yeah,
107.
Man. That's a good one.
Well, we're gonna add Christian. You are zooming in from your tablet. If you wanna.
Yeah. Sorry, I meant to apologize about that at the top. My computer took a shit, and I can't figure it out. So we're on the tablet today. Luckily, I will be getting a computer in the next few weeks when I get a bigger apartment. So we'll put that behind us. Hopefully, we can get the laptop back next week. Or if not the laptop, find a way to get a better mic. Because honestly, I think this thing works better than that stupid piece of shit anyway. So
right.
Yeah, so hit us our Kickstarter. Get that computer for Christian going.
Yeah. www.bringsthedariussmithback.com.
Oh, yeah. Got the rocking the 55. Goodbye, Zadarius Smith.
There's a lot of goodbyes, man.
Interesting career he's going to have, dude. Like Packers career. Because, they sign him. He's an all-pro 2 years in a row. Like, just incredible. Double-digit sacks. Hurts his back. Doesn't play at all in 2021, except one play in the playoffs. Well, scratch that. He started the first game, was in for like 3 plays, couldn't do it. Then his very first snap in a playoff game, he just bursts through the line and gets a sack. And we're like, oh, shit, we're about to tear San Francisco up. Obviously, we all know how that ended up. And now he's gone. Like he made such an immediate, awesome impact, and now he's gone. So I got to retire this jersey way earlier than I thought. So this is the last time that you'll see me in the 55, unless somebody else cool gets it. But
yeah, I will remember you.
If you would have told me at the end of 2020 that one of the Smith brothers was going to get a massive contract extension and the other one was going to get cut, I would have bet my house on Preston Smith being the one that got cut.
That's crazy. I could have had a house. Fuck.
Straight up.
That would have been embarrassing to sign those papers. Like, come on, man. You really going to do this? Like, you did. It was a bet, man.
Yep.
You can visit anytime. Anytime. Well, I guess let's get into our fucking rookies, dude. Woo! Daniel, I'm letting you take this over.
Okay. Well, everyone buckle in. It's going to be a bumpy ride. I'm pretty excited about it personally. So here we go. So what we do every year, by which I mean last year and now this year, is we come up with 64 rookies and we make a March Madness style bracket and pit them against each other. And we had a lot of fun doing it last year. We'll have a visual representation of what's happening. And make sure
You watch on YouTube.
you watch it on YouTube. Because actually, yeah, this is actually a really important thing right now. If you are listening to this on Spotify, Apple Music, Stitcher, whatever, it's a good episode to come to the visual side. Now, it won't just be this face the whole time. We're going to have the bracket up. And another thing to do on YouTube is to remember that we're only doing half of the 64 today, and the other half we're doing next week. And we made a Google form where we're going to link it in the comments, and you can fill out and rank these guys, and that will be their bracket seating for next week's episode. So we got some crowd participation, and we appreciate that. But we're always looking for some more. So we'll link those below, and it'll be cool. It's going to be exciting. This week we're doing the red and the green regions. Last year got a little weird with the north-south. We got into Australian south up maps, and that really didn't go over very well as far as some people did not approve of the south up Australian maps. So
I don't know who that would be or who you're referring to.
Hey man, the
they
North
sound
Pole's
like a dick.
always up. No man, north down, south up. Anyway, that's a whole other Australian thing that we don't need to get into. So, but what we should be getting into is the green bracket. I think that's where we're going to start out. Was there anything should be mentioned before we get in here?
Single QB.
Single QB all the way. Yeah, it'd be fun to do super flex, but you know, when it comes down to it, we're into the juicy stuff, man. The speculation. The NFL draft tells you a lot of what you need to know about quarterbacks. So some of this pre-draft stuff is funner to do as a single quarterback scenarios.
I concur.
Yeah.
So each of our brackets is going to have 2 tight ends, 2 quarterbacks, 6 wide receivers, and 6 running backs. So it's pretty evenly distributed. But without any further ado, we're going to jump into our first matchup, and that is number 1 in the green bracket versus number 16, Drake London versus EJ Perry.
I guess it's also fair to mention that when we're talking about these guys, we're going to go through this bracket, so we're just going to talk about the guy that loses.
Absolutely.
So we'll eventually, if you follow along with us in this bracket, then obviously I think we can all agree Drake London wins here.
Okay.
And we'll talk to him about him eventually, but right now we're here to talk about the losers since they'll be eliminated. So with that,
Heck yeah.
go ahead, Daniel. Tell me all about EJ Perry.
Oh my God. What do I have to say about EJ Perry? You got anything on EJ Perry, Christian?
He's fine.
He played at Brown. I thought he looked pretty good as far as footwork and his ball placement, but the guy kind of crumpled under pressure, put up 3,000 yards this last season, 400 on the ground. 2019, because there was no 2020 season for him, he had 700 rushing yards on the ground. Picked up a bunch of trash at the combine, had a good Shrine Bowl, and he's gonna. I put in my notes. It'll be really fun watching him play 2 games for the Jets in 2024. It feels like one of those guys.
Yeah, for sure. And I'm gonna be real with you guys and the audience for a second. I was on vacation in Colorado all weekend. It was a bit harder to get some research done. Some guys fell through the cracks. One of those guys would be EJ Perry because he was going up against Drake London, and he's like the 7th quarterback too. So I kind of let it slip. I do know he has bigger hands than Kenny Pickett, though. So,
As do I.
So, yeah, I mean, I don't know. I watched a tiny little bit and read a bit. And, yeah, I mean, he's fine. What you're saying is right. I'm sure he'll appear in the NFL at some point, be it a preseason game or as some random third string that has to come in like Mike White or something, exactly like you said with the Jets. And maybe he'll do well. Maybe it'll be exciting. But, yeah, I mean, come on. it's Drake London. AJ Perry is not, what, a third, fourth round quarterback, maybe?
If that, yeah. Yeah,
If
no
that,
one's clamoring to get, maybe the Texans, who knows. But all right, well, that's cool. That's cool with me. Advancing the number 1 over the 16 makes sense. Drake London. We'll see you in the round of 32. All right, next up we got the 8 versus the 9 in the green region, and that is Wandel Robinson, wide receiver out of Kentucky, and Chianti Ingram, running back out of USC. This was kind of a tougher one for me, Christian. I don't know what you came up with as far as a winner.
It wasn't that tough to me.
Oh,
because of the size of Wandel Robinson. I just have no interest in that. He's super exciting to watch. Like I understand why people are excited about him, but it's the Tutu Atwell syndrome, which I started last year. It's just kind of like, I don't know. He's just not big enough. And then you look at Ingram, and I just think he's a really, really solid all-around utility back. I don't think he's ever going to be a superstar. He doesn't have the big playability, in my opinion, to be that guy. But he could be a solid, like, producer for you. Whereas I think Wandale Robinson has, like, a very, very high bust % chance.
Yeah. Now you captured it. I do like Keaontay Ingram. I'm going to be excited to watch him lose to Drake London in a couple weeks. But but yeah, for a 178-pound dude, you got to be a little faster than that.
Yeah,
a little more athletic, I guess. But yeah, we know he can produce. His production profile is pretty baller, but not good enough for the round of 64, man. Heartbreaking. See you later.
Yeah.
Peace out.
I'm just going to put some input in this because these were 2 of my guys, and I was really excited about Keaontay and Wandale. One of my biggest points was how he burst through the hole, and then you got his burst score here, and he's in the 32nd percentile, and you're like, God dang.
Mm-hmm.
It's like you just it's the same thing you were talking earlier. It's just like, am I watching the wrong games here? Like, what's going on?
Yeah, and that's the thing is, like sometimes you see something differently, and then that's why you got to take all the information into account. It's like what I was talking about with Elijah Mitchell last year. I kept saying over and over and over again, yeah, I love his tape, but we got to see what he does at the combine. And then he did both. So now you have both to look at. Whereas somebody like Ingram, like the tape's pretty good and fun and nice to watch. And then the workouts are, fine. And sorry for everybody at home. I'm going to be a little off my game today, not having the laptop. I'm doing the dual notes with my phone and the thing. So if I seem a little distracted, especially in the video, that's why. But like he didn't have a terrible combine. Came in at a really good size, 221, ran a 4.53, which isn't crazy. And then like, I don't know, he's a good, decent, like, just utility piece that you could have on your roster at some point. And that's why I like him over a guy that I think is going to need a lot of help to succeed.
I'm with you.
In Wandale Robinson. Sorry, I guess I should add that at the end.
All right, Wandale, we'll see you on the consolation bracket. Just joking, guys. We're not going to do a consolation. I thought about it last year. It sounded fun. But all right, we're rolling into the 5 and the 12. That's Malik Willis at number 5 and Kennedy Brooks at number 12. And this one hurt. Hurt. I got to say, so last year I did all the seedings myself, and I made like the small school guys, like the mid majors, the 8s and the 12s, like they do in the NCAA bracket, and it made for more upsets. There were not going to be as many upsets with the crowd-sourced ranking. The rankings are solid. So the 5's beating the 12 in my book, unless you got something else to say about it. I got a little bit on Kennedy Brooks, but if you think he should win, then let me know.
No, I definitely don't think he should win. I do like him, though. I'll let you roll because I kind of took that last one. So I'll let you roll first, and then I'll try to add on anything there at the end.
Okay, I'm just telling you what I've learned from my friend AJ. but he's second, tied for second in the class with yards per carry, which is pretty good. And he's well over half his yards came after contact. So got to love that about a guy. And AJ's told us before, you got rushing quarterbacks with Kyler and Jalen Hurts. And then you got other NFL hot stars, running backs, Trey Sermon, Ramondre Stevenson. And this guy still puts up 1,000 yards every season. So it'd be a lot cooler if he caught the ball. That's a flaw in his game, like sub double digit catches 3 years in a row. But what's not to like about it, guys? 209. He ran a 4.59, which isn't stellar, but I think he's pretty good. I'm with him. He has smaller hands than Kenny Pickett, though.
You just took that right out of my head, dude.
So
that's why I put that out.
Oh, really? But yeah, I think this is a guy that I think the NFL is going to have some love for. As far as the draft goes, I think he's going to be coming up in people's hearts. But he's not better than Malik Willis right now. So that's basically what I'm saying on that.
Yeah, and Kennedy Brooks, I like. I'm with you. Malik Willis definitely wins, but I do like him. 209, like you said, the 4.59 40. A guy that's 209, you'd kind of like him to be a little faster than that. So that's kind of a downside to me. But he does have pretty good balance. I thought for a guy that's 209, like he bounces off people pretty well, and he tends to stay up. Like arm tackles definitely aren't really messing with this guy very much. But after that, like the athleticism doesn't show up necessarily, and then there's not a ton of power to me necessarily. Like he can break the arm tackles, but if you wrap him up, he's pretty cooked at that point. But yeah, I do like him. He's worth a look, and I agree with you. He's gonna get some love in the NFL draft. So he's on my radar. I think he can be a good player. But yeah, it's just Malik Willis with the dual threat running and throwing is kind of hard to beat with a guy that you think may go in the third, fourth round of the NFL draft.
All right. I'm with you on that, man, all the way. This next one ought to be a pretty set him up and knock him down. It's number 4, Rashad White coming at you live out of Arizona State. And then you got Jeremy Ruckert out of Ohio State. He's a Buckeye, play the tight end position. I think we all got Rashad White advancing here.
Oh yeah, big time.
Oh yeah.
White crushed the combine, and I talked about Ruckert in our tight end episode. I got his name wrong, like a fucking idiot, but I did talk about him, and I do like him, and I stand by what I said even after the combine. I think he's going to have a very, very successful and long career as a number 2 blocking tight end in an NFL offense, and who's occasionally going to pop off because he can do it. And that's a great role for him to have. That's going to, he's going to make millions of dollars playing the game he loves. It's just not really fantasy helpful.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. Basically, I'm with you on that. I thought that the lack of a 40 time, not running the 40 kind of capped the imagination. Like you could have maybe read into that and got a little excited, but yeah, blocking. Yeah. All right. Well, that was easy. So we're coming up on the number 6 versus the number 11 matchup. And 6 is Isaiah Likely. That's a Coastal Carolina tight end. And then you've got ZaQuandre White, number 11th spot, coming out to you from South Carolina, the Gamebirds, the Gamecocks. Meow. You got any upsets here? Because I'm picking Isaiah Likely to advance.
I'm picking Likely as well.
Okay, yeah. I mean, ZaQuandre White, man. I wanted to like him, but it just didn't really happen for me. He had 89 carries for 557 yards, which was kind of slim. I will say 73% of his yards came after contact, which is pretty impressive. But he's not even the most productive running back from that team in this draft class. We haven't really talked about him too much, but Kevin Harris outperformed him. And they were both on the team last year when Harris had 15 touchdowns and like 1,100 yards. And ZaQuandre had... let's see what he had, 16 carries for 59 yards. So he was another linebacker convert to running back. But fucking ton of those this year. But unless someone's got something crazy groundbreaking to say about him, I was just gonna let it roll. He's 206, ran a 4.51.
Yeah, I don't have anything groundbreaking. The reason I wasn't interested is the lack of production. So just like what you were saying.
Okay.
Hey, athletic freak, man. Let's see, where was that? He's a 43.5 vert.
Hey, that's pretty good.
So you got
That'll be a good burst.
Yeah, he didn't do the broad jump, so they couldn't convert it. So, but I'd imagine pretty good burst. But
all right. So our AJ is going to be looking out for him.
I mean, you just look at the draft capital. Like, I mean, if someone takes him in the third, I mean, that's not going to happen. But or the fourth, really. You know, that's your Ramondre territory, baby.
Yeah, I think Ramondre had a few more stats than that.
Yeah,
have to check. Get the Rolodex out. Speaking of rolling, roll it on to the next. Number 3, Jamison Williams up against number 14, Jaylen Warren. And so Williams is the wide receiver coming at you out of Alabama. And then Warren is a running back out of Oklahoma. And what's up? I got a few things to say about Warren, who I believe loses this matchup, in my opinion.
Oh, big time. Yeah.
If you didn't...
My red flags aside on Jamison Williams, he's got to be the choice here. I'm not stupid. I just have guys that, I would take over Jamison Williams preference-wise, like at the end of the first. But, I mean, the talent alone, the speed, and, I mean, the injury risk is there. But, yeah, I mean, you got to go Williams over this guy.
Yeah. So I was intrigued about Warren. Mostly because he popped off with a huge season. Pretty good. It was 1,200 yards. And then he was, the whole time he was listed at 215 pounds. And I was like, oh, okay. He had a really good stretch through the beginning of the college year where he put up several 150-yard plus games. He had a 218-yard game against Boise State, a 193-yard game against Texas. So I was kind of excited about him, but then he came in weighing 204, and he ran a 4.55, put a little bit of the water on the excitement. But he does have the runaway like gameplay speed that didn't show up at the combine. He is a little quick, but this was a 1-year production, and he had several 50-yard games and just kind of 3-yard per carry games. So it was kind of boom or bust and a limited production profile. He came from Utah State University into the University of Oklahoma this past year. So, yep, he definitely came on the scene burning bright, but not bright enough for Jameson Williams to go down on the upset here. So, moving right along, we'll just jump into... You got Justin Ross and Khalil Shakir. So Ross, of course, is coming at you out of Clemson. And then you've got Khalil Shakir out of Boise State. Trying to mess me up, homie?
No. That's my bad, dog.
Throwing straight fire at me. Testing me on the sheet here. But... what do you got, man? This one was tough for me. I really wanted to go with Shakir, but it's hard to argue. So I thought I'd let you throw your opinion out there on this one.
I did go with Shakir.
Okay,
Actually.
I did too.
Upset alert!
Whoa, because I wrote up a whole thing for Shakir because I thought he was going to lose. So
No. Give me Shakir and his production. Never less than 700 yards, never less than 6 touchdowns after his freshman year when he became a true kind of piece of that offense. He fits, like, I see a more immediate role for him than I do Ross, because Ross, we don't know what's going on with his injury. Does he still play the same way? Can he still do that stuff? Where Shakir fits in as a big slot receiver, and I think he fits that role well. I like Ross. Ross has, like, a really nice catch radius. He's really fun to watch. But, like, the injury makes me more concerned, and I think Shakir's a more appealing option.
Hell yeah, I love Shakir, man. I'm like, I can't wait to see him on an NFL team. He's just gonna blow it up, man. I'm excited.
Yeah.
Okay, well, cool, perfect. We got an upset.
Yeah, I was gonna say just to tune in here, he was medically cleared to do drills. He just chose not to.
Sounds like a mistake.
Yeah, or
Maybe
it seems like he's trying to protect the fact that he probably won't perform well.
Oh,
You know,
Yeah, but
like
don't
maybe
you
some.
think teams also see that? Like, okay, you're not going to run the combine. You must not feel like you're going to do very well, so that injury must be nagging you pretty bad.
Yeah,
That's what I would think.
that's true.
But maybe not.
Yeah.
Anyway, sorry, I didn't mean to jump on your point.
Oh no! I just think it could literally go either way. I think it's like very. If you got hype on Justin Ross, look out for that pro day. Like hopefully he does something.
Yeah, not a lot of pro days come and gone yet, but I definitely noticed. I think Kennedy Brooks' pro day came out, and his vert went up like 6 inches, and and that kind of shit. So I'm like, all right,
Yeah,
gotta love pro days. Pro days are back.
Yeah. Dude, I'm so glad we actually had a combine, unlike last year.
Yeah.
Right.
Not gonna. Never mind. Not even gonna say the name. I'm not gonna speak it into existence. Okay. Well, then the last matchup for the green region is.
Oh, I'd put Khalil Herbert. Yeah,
you wish,
you
man.
see where my mind's been at the last couple of weeks.
In the gutter.
Yeah. Yep.
All right, so the last matchup is running back Isaiah Spiller out of Texas A&M is the number 2 seed in this bracket, and Velus Jones Jr. is the number 15 seed. And Isaiah Spiller wins. I didn't know if you wanted to say anything about Velus. Historically, yeah, go for it. I'd love to
Go
hear
ahead.
it. Yeah, tell me.
Oh, I just, he's got really good speed and good size. I don't know. He's interesting to at least see where he goes. I honestly get a sneaking suspicion it's somebody that the Packers might look at, because I really think MVS is gone at the end of this year. I still don't think the Packers are going to spend a number 1 pick on a receiver. So taking a guy late in the draft that ran a 4.31 and he's not the tallest guy in the world, but he's not like super short either. I don't know. You take a flyer. They need that kind of third element to their offense. I give MVS a lot of shit over the years for all his drops and stuff, but he's very important for what he does in the LaFleur offense. So they're not going to just not replace him. So I don't know. It's a sneaky guy. I could see the Packers going after maybe.
Well, I hope they do. I mean, I said this a couple weeks back that he looked like a big Jaylen Waddle, and I said not to quote me. But now that I've seen the 40 time, you can quote me on that shit.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, he's incredible. If you haven't watched any Velus Jones, what he does in space, what he did in the return game, just super flashy, super fast, very quick, and he's nearly 25 years old, so he's got the experience on the mind. Yeah, it cracks me up. I don't know. I put a note in here. It's like a joke about USC. And last year, Josh Imatorbhebhe was like the guy who broke the vert record, and we were all excited about him. Ended up hanging out in in Jacksonville. Didn't really do anything. His brother plays for K-State, so a little bit of that. But him and Willis both transferred out of USC, and I feel like Willis, for sure, if he had gone to a school besides USC and got an opportunity, not had to be buried on that depth chart, he probably could have had a different life, man. He could have been a guy that we were excited about a couple years back and got out a little earlier. But he had to make some moves before he could get to the light of day. And once he did, kind of showed out pretty well for Tennessee this last year. So I like him a lot, but you losing Isaiah Spiller, homie.
Yeah.
Yep. Well, I mean, the Packers had all their special team issues as well, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so they need a returner. Yeah,
I mean,
He's no Ty Montgomery, but
Kylan Hill was returning those kickoffs last year before he
was
got
doing
hurt.
well before he got hurt.
So
trust in Rich Bisaccia, bro. He'll
hey,
fix
man,
it,
brother. You got the second best special teams coach in the division.
damn right.
Well,
hey, Harley's been a head coach though. So
yeah, for like 6 weeks.
Hey, he only interim coach in history to go to the playoffs. Let's go. Now he's coaching special teams.
Man,
Got that Joe Judge-like syndrome. I love it.
you said that you did really good as a head coach. What were you doing before that? We would like you to do that again. Well, that's it for the green. You want to rattle off the winners for us? Give us a little rundown.
Okay, we'll do a little rundown here. We had Drake London versus EJ Perry. Drake London with the victory there, moving on to the round of 32. Then we had the 8-9 matchup of Wandel Robinson versus Keaontay Ingram. Keaontay Ingram takes it. We got a USC matchup in the round of 32. Malik Willis versus Kennedy Brooks, the 5 and the 12. Malik Willis moves along. The 4 and the 13, Rashad White versus tight end Jeremy Ruckert. Rashad White moves on. The 6-11, Isaiah Likely versus South Carolina running back ZaQuandre White. Isaiah Likely moves on. The tight ends were representing in the round of 13. Jamison Williams versus Jaylen Warren in the 3-14 matchup. Jamison Williams moves on. We have our first upset of Justin Ross versus Khalil Shakir, who was the 10 seed. Khalil Shakir from Boise State moves on. And then Isaiah Spiller versus Velus Jones Jr. The number 2 seed of Isaiah Spiller moves on to the round of 32. So we got Drake London, Keaontay Ingram, Malik Willis, Rashad White, Isaiah Likely, Jamison Williams, Khalil Shakir, and Isaiah Spiller. Let's move on to the red.
Man, that's cool. That was a lot of fun. Let me just get into the happiness. We lost 3 running backs, 3 wide receivers, 1 tight end, and 1 quarterback. So like the positional balance. Yeah.
Of every position.
Yeah, that's crazy. That's crazy how
let's
that
do it
happened.
again.
Yeah, let's see.
Let's see. I don't know if it's reproducible. Let's go. Yeah, we'll see how it goes. All right, so hit us with the red region, Daniel. You got it, man. No problem. Starting it off with number 1 versus number 16. You guys in the voting world had a lot of fun with this one. I actually had to make a judgment call because it was tied between Kenneth Walker the 3rd and Garrett Wilson, and I put Garrett Wilson as number 1 because
should.
yeah, there you go. So he beats Bailey Zappi, man. That's a rough draw, Bailey. He didn't get a lot of love on the voting, but I'll just tell you what you need to know about everybody. The Ohio State wide receiver Garrett Wilson advances, and the Western Kentucky quarterback Bailey Zappi takes the L. I know we got a Zappi head in the room with us, and I feel like this is his time to shine.
Well, you know, I was excited about Bailey Zappi, but I'm more excited for what he can be, and I want to see him off the field. I want to see him in that coaching position because that guy, if you watch the film, feels like he knows everything that he's supposed to do. He just, you know, with the surroundings of Western Kentucky, he didn't get a lot of help in the receiving game, but it just feels like he knows everything he needs to do. He just can't quite always do it. So if he doesn't really survive in the NFL, I really hope he moves on to to some sort of coaching and becomes the next Ken Dorsey of the NFL. I'm just going to keep throwing that name out there.
I kind of echo that, but I also, just because we brought it up earlier with like EJ Perry, I actually think Zappy's the guy that's going to come have a Mike White night one of these times. Like just as a backup, and then all of a sudden gets forced into a game and he's just going to explode. And then the next week just do not that well because he's just not good enough, you know?
Yeah.
But it's going to be fun. He's going to pop up on the field maybe. Like, I don't know. He's even got the name that makes it fun. Like Zappy is just a fun name to throw out there. Like, I don't know. But yeah, I'm with you. Like, obviously he doesn't beat Garrett Wilson.
Oh yeah, it'll be in the record books or probably life.
Yeah.
And honestly, if you watched any of his film and saw all the dropped passes, that record should be so much higher.
Yeah.
Yeah, you never know, man. Maybe this the kind of guy that the Saints pick up in the second round, and he just, it's not that hard to beat Taysom Hill.
Yeah.
Life's been doing it for a while now.
That's true.
I don't know. Signing some big deals to not do that much. Sounds like he's winning at life.
Oh, okay. All right. Yeah.
I'd say
as long
maybe
as there are no mirrors in this house.
My thing is he's a pocket passer.
Yeah.
But he's sitting like right over 6 foot.
Right.
So I think that's what makes it hard for him. I think if this guy, same everything, but give him like 3 more inches, and I think this guy's an NFL quarterback. I just like the way tackles and guards are in this league. Like, I don't know how you're gonna see over your 6'4" guards or your tackles or whatever.
Didn't Broncos just trade up like 2 first-round picks, 2 second-round picks, and a bunch of players for a 6-foot guy?
Mobile,
not a pocket passer. Yeah.
That's fair.
That's
fair.
like maybe either more mobile or like 3 inches taller, and I think he's a great prospect for sure.
You're right.
Yeah, he's got bigger hands than Kenny Pickett, though.
And Kennedy Brooks.
So can't go wrong with that. Okay, well, that was fun. That was easy. Garrett Wilson, we'll see in the future. Buckeyes for life. Let's roll on to the number 8 and the number 9. That's Tyler Beatty, University of Missouri, a.k.a. Mizzou running back. And then Hassan Haskins, who had some really interesting games for Michigan this year. I didn't know what to do with this one. Christian, did you have an opinion?
Yeah, I thought this one was pretty close. I think Beatty has more fun film to watch. But you know me, and I'm a sizist when it comes to running backs, and he came in under 200, and Haskins came in at 228. So when it's close, I'm going to go with size on the running back front. And so I went with Haskins. It's weird not having his combine stuff. That makes it a little even harder. But when you watch a 228 guy that I thought still looked pretty quick for his size, he's got really good power. He bounces off tackles super well. It doesn't have a ton of production to speak of, just the 1 year, but it was a good year. And he doesn't have the home run speed. But I just think with Beatty, you're hoping for a kind of exception to the rule based on like how I've looked at the top 24 of the last 5 years. And so just based purely on that, I go Haskins. But I'm not convinced on it. I don't necessarily think Beatty is going to be bad, but if I have to pick one, I would go size. Have to pick one without knowing where they're going to get drafted, obviously. But
yeah, and it comes down to the role they're going to be asked to play. I like Beatty because it's got the 52 catches. Like, that's insane.
Yeah, that's a lot.
Compared to 18. So I think as far as fantasy goes, your pass catching your pass catching running backs give you more relevance.
Yeah.
And then obviously 1,600 yards on the ground versus 1,300 yards. He's still playing the SEC, so you gotta be pretty pumped either way. But I'm not going to argue with you too much. Hassan Haskins just had too many extremely good games. He had that 5 touchdown game against Ohio State. Couple of loose, I'd say he had 4 games over 150 yards, which is pretty good. Not really compared to Tyler Beatty, who had like 6 games over 200 yards, but that's all right. As far as the size goes, I'll go with you on this. I'm not gonna argue too much with you. I'll let you have it. But I still like Tyler Beatty quite a bit.
I'm perfectly fine pushing through Tyler Beatty because this one was really close to me, and I know he's one of your guys, so I don't care either way. I just, obviously, we got to be honest, and that's just what I looked at. It's like these guys are super close to me. They both have, like, obviously he's got 300 more yards and more in the receiving game, but they have similar production. I don't know. They're very close, so I'm not like.
Looks like we're calling in the tiebreaker then.
Okay.
Calling in me?
Yeah, the tiebreaker.
Man, see, so this is weird because as you guys were talking, I was looking up profiles, and it's more like, do you want a bigger non-injury? Well, I guess you can't say non-injury prone since Hassan Haskins hurt himself in the last game, but it's like, do you want a bigger Zach Moss, or do you want like a Kenny Gainwell light? Because that's kind of how these. Tyler Beatty's faster.
Yeah.
Probably not as great hands, but still has the PPR. So I think it's very landing spot. But I would say if I had to pick one, I'm gonna go Hassan Haskins.
All righty.
Okay. Let's do it.
I think he can be a vulture. I think he can be a vulture. I think yeah.
Yeah.
I'll just leave it at that.
All right.
And I just you're gonna have Larry Roundtree next year. You don't need Tyler Beatty.
Don't worry about it, man. Tyler Beatty's coming with me. No, man, I didn't pick a winner or loser on that one because it was too hard to call. That's a tough matchup just on account of
It gives us an upset too.
size variance. Yeah, an 8 beating or a 9 beating an 8. It's like it's all good. It's like, yeah, it don't matter none. All right, we're moving on to the next one. Number 5 seed Zamir White. He's the running back, of course, out of Georgia. We've heard about him a little bit. And then 12 was Greg Dulcich, which was the UCLA tight end. So, what's up on this one, fellas? What do you got? This one's kind of tough for me, in my opinion.
It's not
What?
for me. Zamir White's becoming one of my crushes the more I tune in on him. Yeah, I just like him a lot. He's got a good size. He's got a decent verse score too. Let me find it. 64, which is out of that range that I really like, but that's still pretty good. Ran a 4.4 at 214, which is that perfect superstar size of running back that I talked about a few weeks ago. The Stone Colds and the Rocks, I believe.
It's a 95th percentile speed score, by the way.
Yeah, like I'm just becoming higher and higher on White, and then it becomes a positional value thing. And I really, really love superstar tight ends just like everybody else, but is a guy, I don't know, I guess I'll ask you since it was close. Do you think Dulcich can be a superstar tight end? Like, is he going to be a true game changer? Because if he's not, then I'll take a shot on a running back over a tight end every single time.
Well, first of all, I started out as the first to love Zamir White, so fuck you guys, straight up. But no, man, I do think Dulcich has that in him. He played a ton of work out of the slot. He had a ton of downfield work, and he's getting 17.3 yards per catch last year. In 2020, it was 19.9. 725 yards with 5 TDs. That's pretty impressive for a college tight end. So I think that the size and the speed combination for him is pretty solid in the tight end world. He was 6'4", 243, and ran a 4.69 pretty athletic for a big guy, and I think he has a ton of potential to really contribute as a pass catching tight end. After a year or so, he's not Noah Fant. He's not, day one. Let's get it done. There's no Kyle Pitts. Let's not kid ourselves. This year has some good tight ends, some relevant tight ends in the NFL, but it doesn't have any. No one's fighting
Superstars.
Yeah, exactly. No one's fighting their children for soda money on this one. So obviously Zamir White wins.
Okay. Well, yeah, I mean, if he does have a chance to be a superstar tight end, then I think it's a more interesting matchup. I guess. I don't know. Maybe I didn't watch enough on Dolce, but I'm going White, but you've definitely said enough that I need to go back and possibly reevaluate.
Yeah.
The tight end position, but you are the tight end guy too, so it's not really.
Yeah, he's not even in my top 3.
Okay.
I just like his usage. I need to watch more film on him too, because he is good, but he doesn't really look like a tight end out there. He looks like not like Isaiah Likely, who was not a tight end. Let's just be honest. He's just a huge ass wide receiver, but he did play a versatile role. There's just so many sexy, fun tight ends in this class. Cole Turner probably not going to be a superstar, but just fun to watch these guys. But definitely check out his film and let me know what you see, man. I'd love to hear about it. So we're gonna kick it over to the Isaiah Weston, 13th seed, versus Kenny Pickett, the 4 seed. Weston is out of University of Northern Iowa, and Kenny Pickett coming out of Pitt, Tiny Hands, Pennsylvania.
They're both Panthers, right?
Yeah, sure.
Interesting.
Wow. Who knew? What are the odds, dude?
All right, sorry.
This guy's next level.
Sorry. I'll let you guys talk. I'm next level over here.
No, man. I'm just giving it out. I didn't put it all together like you did. I'm very impressed.
Shut up.
So Kenny Pickett wins?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think so. I mean, Weston's super interesting. He did crush the combine. Definitely rising in stock. And then it just comes down to, in the second round, do you want to take a chance on a quarterback or a wide receiver? And I don't know. I'll take Pickett. I think he has a chance to be a day one starter, depending on where he goes. Whereas Weston is going to have to prove it a little more and kind of move up the roster. But I mean, a 6'4" guy at 214 that jumps like that, I don't know. It's pretty interesting. This is a lot closer for like 4, whatever the fucking other matchup is.
4-13.
Be 11, 13.
Yeah.
Wow.
You're doing
so
fine.
413. It's a little more interesting than you would think, because Isaiah Weston's size and his jumping ability is like out of this world, unless I've got this mixed up.
No, you don't have it mixed up. He's I mean, and AJ stepped out of the room, so no one's here to stop me with doing my Isaiah Weston love. But yeah, I said last time that he comped to Nico Collins. The exact same size, except he ran. His vert was 2.5 inches more. His broad jump was 10 inches more. The bench reps 6 more than Nico. And then the production profile was greater than Nico's too. This guy had 24% of his snaps were in the slot, so he can play inside and outside. The routes are good. He led the class in yards per reception, and he led the class in ADOT. So he's using that length. He's using that jump to just be a deep threat monster. And, I agree with you. He loses this one. But it definitely was closer than it should have been, considering this guy is out of Northern Iowa. He's also another fella that's 24 years old currently, due to be 25 in October. So keep that in mind. But don't be surprised if he goes somewhere where the only players better than him are Amon-Ra St. Brown and DJ Chark or something, then you might put him on the back burner. Just don't tell me you haven't heard of this guy when he blows up. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure.
Dude, a big guy a big fast guy, send him to Miami, dude.
Yeah, dude, he's gonna make a ton of plays, I think. So I'm right there with you. And obviously I'm a Kenny Pickett lover, and this was closer than I thought it would have been. So
yeah, darn those folks voting him, man. If he had been voted into the a couple spots higher, a couple spots higher, he might have stood a chance. But you can't beat out a top 4, not like that. So, all right, well, we'll move on to Tyler Algiere at the number 6 spot. That's the running back out of BYU. And then we have him up against Romeo Doubs, wide receiver at the University of Nevada. This is one I couldn't really decide on. I think that Tyler Algiere wins, but I'm willing to take arguments.
No, I'm with you. Honestly, both these guys disappointed me a little bit after the combine. And then it just comes down to, I think Algiere has a better chance to succeed because he has a more clear path to a role as a strong kind of goal line power back, whereas Doubs, especially with the combine, kind of gets lost in this mist of wide receivers to me, where it's like, okay, like there's a ton of guys that can kind of do what he does, and a lot of them do it better on paper athletically, unless I'm nuts, but I don't know. That's just where I'm at with it.
Yeah, you're not nuts, man. You're basically saying, like, why go for him when you could have Khalil Shakir, who went to the combine and kind of wowed a little bit, and they are similar, very similar type of wide receiver. And I do like Romeo. Oh, Romeo. I said a little bit about him in the past. And I also said I wasn't quite sure if it was Carson Strong's arm or if it was Romeo Doubs out there. But I really liked his nuance running and his cuts at full speed. And I thought he was really subtle. He's got a really nice technique. So maybe we'll get a pro day, get some metrics that we missed out on the combine. It'll give us an opportunity to get a little excited about him. The production was there, a couple 1,000-yard seasons, big TD numbers, played a little bit, had 500 yards as a true freshman. You know what it is. He's pretty good at football. We're just not quite sure how good. But yeah, he loses to T-Dog.
Oh, yeah.
So, alrighty. Well, next up is number 3, Christian Watson, up against number 14, Ty Davis Price. Think we all going with Christian Watson on this one, right?
Oh, yeah. You got to go with the combine hero.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, he's been the hero for a long, long time.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't think this one's particularly close. I mean, Ty Davis Price, he's got good size. 211, it's all right, but there's just nothing like overly exciting. And then he put up decent numbers his senior year, and that's like the only year that he really did a whole ton. And then like his combine was fine. 4.48 is pretty good, but then ended up with a burst score of 12th percentile. It's just, this one's not.
I know that doesn't work for you.
Yeah.
He was the kind of guy I was really excited about when he was supposed to weigh 232 pounds, and then you come in at 211. Like, that's 21 pounds, man. Like, that's a little much for me to just overlook. So that pretty much, a lot of the excitement just went right out the window. Like you're saying, he didn't produce very consistently. Did squeak out 1,000-yard season, 10 catches his junior year. And it was kind of a weird season, like he didn't really get a run In the beginning, had a couple 30-yard games, something like that. And then he pops off with 287 yards, couple 100-yarders in there, and a 147-yard game against Kentucky. So he had some blow-up games, but not necessarily the consistency. If he gets an opportunity, obviously I'll reevaluate. But at this point, that big body was what I was after, and he shrunk on me real quick. So
yeah,
that's the Habs.
That's crazy. I don't know how you just lie about. No, obviously he's not lying, but like they know he's not 230 pounds. Why are you billing him at what is this WWE? Why are you billing him at 20 pounds heavier than he is?
That's hilarious. Yeah, man, he definitely dropped some weight classes all the way. All right, we're getting near to the this is the penultimate matchup for the evening. We got Alec Pierce, Cincinnati wide receiver, number 7th ranked, up against Taekwon Thornton, the Baylor wide receiver at the 10th spot. And I think I kind of like Thornton better, but I'm ready to argue this is another close one, the 10 versus 7. Put them in the same space.
This one's a styles thing. It depends on what you're going for. You've got a guy who's like super fast and, got really good size for that speed, against a guy who is just a really, really solid all-around football player who then all of a sudden did way better at the combine than people thought he was going to. 40.5-inch vert, 4.41. He's coming in at 6'3", 211, 94 burst.
And Alec Pierce, right?
Yeah, Alec Pierce. Sorry about that. Alec Pierce, that's all his numbers. And I'm more excited about that than a speed guy. Because I don't know, it has all of the fucking same warning signs to me of every year there's a guy at the combine that runs super fucking fast, and then the Raiders draft him and he doesn't do anything. Or, I don't know. Obviously, the most recent Raiders situation with Ruggs is a lot different. But I don't know. You look at like guys like John Ross, and I'm spacing here because my notes are everywhere. I had more names, but it just screams to me that thing again, where it's like, yeah, he's really fast, and then what else? Whereas Pierce, I think you get an all-around football player. He's actually flying up my boards, if I'm going to be honest with you guys. I really like Alec Pierce. So for me, this one wasn't particularly close, but it's a style thing. I can see the attraction to Thornton. A 4.28 at 6'2" is incredible, and that could absolutely help an offense. Maybe that's the guy that Green Bay goes after to get that speed over the top. But for me personally, I like Alec Pierce more.
Okay, yeah, it's hard to argue with you. Alex Pierce is definitely doing major things. Brought it up last time. There's kind of a twinkle with all those Cincinnati guys after the season they had. So, why not take that to the next level? Taekwon Thornton. He had pretty good production over his career. Nothing stellar though. So it really is just kind of a athletic speed guy. So without too much to back it up, we'll give him the L here. We'll move along to the last one. This is gonna be a tough one. Number 2 ranked Kenneth Walker, the third Doak Walker Award winner. Of course, have to mention that. Versus number 15. That's Charlie Kohler. So he's a tight end out of Iowa. Obviously, Kenneth Walker, we all know, Michigan State running back. So I guess what do we have to say about the loser, Charlie Kohler? Because this was not very close, right?
No, this was not very close, and I think somehow I deleted my little messages or my little notes, because under Walker versus Kohler, I just have written please help. That's it. So I think I was either just tired when I finished this and just forgot, or whatever. But yeah, I mean, I don't have a lot to say on Kohler. Walker definitely wins. He's the second best running back in this class to me, and it's hard for a tight end to beat that at any point.
Yeah, I mean, we got to say something nice about him, right? He had a really consistent career. PFF graded him as a 84, 85 overall for 3 years straight. He did have production, 764 yards, 593, 697. So very consistent throughout his career. This last season, he was number one amongst tight ends with the most contested catches at 18. So you really you got a solid guy with the good run blocking as well, and he comes in at 6'6" and a half at 252 pounds. So that's cool. That's pretty cool. That's a monster of a man right there. So if he weighed another 70 pounds, he'd be an offensive tackle, and we'd be talking about him in the probably first round, right?
Oh yeah,
with that kind of.
Yeah, big time.
So another question mark is athleticism. We got to wait for the pro day to get any details on that, but
yeah,
definitely pretty solid numbers right there. A little bit more to think about when it comes to landing spots and potentials and shit like that. You don't want him to be the fifth tight end on the frickin' Bills roster or something.
They're working that way, huh? Well,
yeah,
I'll run.
Yeah, I tried to look. That's what I was doing while you were talking. So sorry if it looked like I wasn't listening. I was trying to see if any of my notes on Kohler went somewhere, but I couldn't find anything. So I do apologize, but I echo what you said. He did have a good career. It's just, I don't know. There's not much chance against Walker.
Well, at least you say his name right. I'm over here calling him Kohler, like a Kohler bear.
Like a Kohler bear.
That's how it's spelled.
A Kohler bear?
Solar bear.
A Kohler bear?
I don't. Yeah, I hope that's right. I just went for it.
He's a tight end one, boys. He's a tight end one.
Oh,
we have the two first name theories and the can't pronounce their name theories. You run to one and you avoid the other. We'll let you figure that out.
Yeah, just wait for AJ to try to spell it, and then you'll know.
Hey, let's just say I figured out how to say Immator Bebe and didn't make the league. So,
hey,
just saying. So let's run that back real quick. So the red bracket's got Garrett Wilson versus Bailey Zappi. Garrett Wilson wins that. The 116. Tyler Beatty versus Hassan Haskins. We got an upset. Hassan Haskins, the 9 seed, moves to the next round. Then we have Zamir White versus Greg Dolchich. Zamir White moves on. Kenny Pickett versus Isaiah Weston, the 413. In a close one, Kenny Pickett pulls it out. Tyler Algiere versus Romeo Dubs. Tyler Algiere moves along, the BYU running back. Then on to Christian Watson versus Ty Davis Price. We got Christian Watson, the combine hero, moving along. And then then we have Alec Pierce, Cincinnati receiver, versus Taekwon Thornton from Baylor receiver, the fastest guy in the combine. And Alec Pierce moves along. And then last we have Kenneth Walker, the third, versus Charlie Kohler Bear. And we got Kenneth Walker moving on. So just a recap of who we will have in the next round. Garrett Wilson versus Hassan Haskins. Zamir White versus Kenny Pickett. Tyler Algiere versus Christian Watson. And Alec Pierce versus Kenneth Walker III.
Ooh, that's going to be fun.
That's spicy.
Damn.
That's spicy.
Well, keep in mind that that's 2 weeks away, and we got two 16-man brackets, the other half of the 64-man going on next week. So hit us up in the comments below. We'll have the links, and you guys can do a little seating, little voting for the red and the blue and the orange. And there's some popular names in there. You're gonna get excited to see Sincere McCormick, James Cook, a couple of guys that you know and love. Maybe Breece Hall makes an appearance.
Ooh,
I don't know.
The only unanimous 1 seed, by the way, Breece Hall.
Yeah, that's crazy.
So,
That is wild.
Crazy. Yeah, it was kind of cool. It was really fun doing those Google forms and
Yeah. That was
tracking through stuff.
nice. How many did we get? Is there like a way to know?
Yeah, there's a way to know.
Okay.
So we'll have a better turnout next week, thanks to all the participation that this is going to garner.
yep.
So hell yeah, I'll probably get to, back onto Reddit. Try again. We have 4 followers on Reddit now. So
Damn, 4 more than we used
Let's
to have.
go.
I know, man. It's so painful to post on Reddit, but it's part of the game, man. Part of the
Hey.
game.
Yeah.
The journey of 1,000 miles, man.
It's just like, what are you doing tonight? Posting on Reddit. 4 hours. Commit it.
Yeah, dude, you're killing it. I like that.
Having a lot of fun. Rookie season, baby.
Well, I think that's it. Join us next week. Also, link below the Google forums. If you want to vote for the green or the blue and the orange brackets, they're open. And then, we might even throw in some matchups for the round of 32. If you guys want, let us know in the comments. Subscribe, YouTube, write a review.
Oh,
all
we
the
could
things.
do that. Get enough people to vote. They could
Yeah.
be the tiebreaker.
I
Yeah.
like that a lot.
Yeah.
So it's up to you, America. Love it.
And anyone from any other country. More than welcome.
Oh, okay. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Just anyone.
And anyone from the other countries that love the NFL.
Hey, man.
Yes.
There's a game in Germany.
Oh, Deutschland. Get in our Google forums. Let us know what you think. Maybe the next one will be in Dusseldorf, and we'll come hang out with you. I don't know. All right. Cut it.
All right, cut it. Cut
it.
Cut.
RDR out. Thanks for listening.
If we go to Australia, are they going to flip the stadiums?
Yeah.
Excuse me, sir. Which way is the North Pole? To the south? What is this?
It would still be to the north.
Every time I
It
flush
only
my
changes
toilet,
on
it's
paper.
It goes counterclockwise. What's happening here?
Oh my god. I need an Australian to English map. Translated.